All right, folks. Well, we're kind of in between builds. That's pretty bright. And I figured I'd give you a quick update. I think it's what, like 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks to SEMA. And we're still expecting another build. But in the meantime, while I was waiting, a buddy of mine called me up. Shout out to Logan. Just had a baby. Congratulations. Life gets in the way in addition to that. And he's pretty busy and doing things he needs to get done, and family's all doing well. So he reached out. We've been friends now for several years. Now met him here locally at the local autocross track, and got to be good friends. Consider him part of the family now, and he ended up buying a Coupe R, so he got in the garage. So lending a helping hand. He's got this pretty much set. He's super quick in the autocross. He's been driving it pretty much like you see it. He's faster in his car than I am in mine, and they're basically set up the same, except he's a Coupe R, and he's done significant suspension upgrades as far as tuning on the shocks. He's got a custom front sway bar in it, but you know, we need to get it the last 10% across the finish line. It's been driving for a while. He's got his 95 and he's in Cam S, same class as mine, and he always whips my tail. But we've got a little bit of work to do. This is he's going to be his drive around town, but really dedicated race car to go have fun in. So helped him set the nose on the car a few years ago, maybe 2 now. And he's been driving it ever since. So we're going to go ahead, in the next couple weeks, we're going to go ahead and, let me get my hand out of the way. We are going to, basically get it finished. I think he's going to wrap it. So I'm just going to do the body work on it, rough it in, get it smooth, and then we're going to wrap it. Got to hang the doors, do all the glass, do the interior, finish up the dash wiring, and some other things. Shouldn't be too long, a couple weeks. We'll do the update. We got a hard push this weekend. We got a 4-day coming up with, I think it's Columbus Day. So we'll go ahead and, probably put 100 hours in it this weekend or something. Anyway, and then in the time being, doing the oil change on the XTF. Got 15,000 miles on it basically this year. So get that done, get that out of the way, and then back to the Coupe R. So we'll get this done. He's got it really set up pretty well. Real happy. It's quiet. It's got these nice large 4-inch exhaust single pipe with the turn downs that he can adjust based on where the sound meter is, and it works quite well. I'll give you a tour around it after we get some of the pieces off. I'm going to take the body off, get it all undercoated, and then put it back on. So got a little bit of work to do, but we're going to get the doors and everything hung on it here in the next day or so, and then move on to some body work. So stay tuned. Here we come. Hey folks, well I didn't take a video as I finished last night. I only got like 45 minutes or so. I'm sorry, 4 to 5 hours on it yesterday. 45 minutes. It's early in the morning. Just getting ready to get started again. Gonna take a break to go out to the range here about 2 hours, so I figured I'd get a couple hours in. Let me turn it around real quick. It's kind of early here. Sun's just coming up. Try and get a better angle on this. So it didn't touch anything on this side. Basically, I try and do one door a day when I'm doing the doors. And see, I was just gonna notice these are the lines I put on the hood when we were doing the alignment a couple years ago. So they're still pretty good. All the alignment stayed in, so hood it's been sitting pretty good. So that'll be nice and easy to get that gap squared away. So I attacked the door yesterday. It's all in. I've got a few little areas I need to touch up. I hit the body right there with the grinder by accident, so I gotta clean that up. It's in the hole I've got the gap on this side pretty tight for right now, because I ran into an issue on this side just as because of, I don't know whether it's the way I put the door in or how it's angled, but this side is a little tight right here, and I've got a large gap there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to even this side out, get this gap straight, and then just slide the whole door back and split the difference between the front and the back, and I basically will gap it using this. This gap looks really good straight, so I'll use that now and then just open that up a little bit, slide it aft. And the door is latching. I don't have the door release hooked up, so stand by. Let me get in here. Where is it? There it is. All right. So, ran into an interesting. This first Coupe R. Wow, that's really bad reflection. Coupe R door I've done. I'm gonna have to go back and do a little bit more trimming and smoothing. Get this area right here. Sorry about the sun, folks. It's just really low. Hold on, let me see if I can't just close the garage. Okay, that should be better, maybe. Nope, I gotta get all the way down. Stand by. Okay, this should be better. All right. So what you end up having to do, and I went slow, and I basically kept, I got a pretty good measurement here, and you can see the first measurement was right here, and then I gapped the door a little bit, and I didn't cut this hole until I thought I had the door at least positioned forward and aft, and you can see, I'm glad I didn't do that because I would have had a huge hole. This piece you can cut pretty much as soon as it touches, because obviously forward and aft, as long as you got your height right, it's fine. I did end up having to trim this edge of this. The instructions have you leave about, I don't know what that is, 3/4 of an inch exposure here to kind of give you a nice finish. But you got to cut that lip up all the way down, almost to the end. Might just take it all the way off, or I don't know. We'll figure it out. I got to smooth this and get this a little bit more even, because I was just cutting it as I went. Because this tab actually touches this bar. So, and then the other thing I'm doing is I'm just using self-tappers to locate the door skin, and that's the small hole, so when I go to put the large bolt in, I don't have to, I can still move the door around if I need to with the self-tappers because small hole. So a couple things it looks like I need to address. This piece is just a little bit loose right here, because it's not connected anymore. The other thing I ran into is when I cut this, you got to cut this piece of the door frame out, because it hits this. So when you do that, the door frames are all welded together in the jig, and as soon as you cut this piece of steel out, the door frame springs based on all the other welding. So that kind of changed the position of everything, and I couldn't get the door striker up into the back of the door. So I ended up cutting the top bar off, and then I just welded it back on so that this was back where it needed to go. And then I just worked the door striker. I still got to clean all this up, take it all back apart, but it's all there. And for right now, I've got a bunch of spacers on the door striker, and I don't have the back plate in yet, so I'm just on fiberglass, but that's fine. So when I move the door back, I'll have to take a couple of these spacers off, right, as this moves back, which is good because that'll allow me to attach this to that frame piece. So Let me go back to the other side, but it definitely closes. It closes like a street car now, and no problems at all. Looks good. Gap on the bottom is still small, just in case I need to raise one of the sides. Although this looks like it's pretty good. Let me go back on the other side so you can see how it fits. It's a little dark in there, but let's see if we can get there nonetheless. And you can kind of see that. So that looks really good. I'm pretty happy with that all the way around. Yeah, and here's the other door frame I already pre-positioned from last night. But basically, you've got to cut this section out right here, and when you do that, this I think on the other one it actually springs up, and so I ended up cutting it right there, right around there, and cutting it, I'd like sliced it and then moved it all around, so it didn't actually cut it all the way off. And then you have to cut a section into here as well, because that hits right here. So, all right, so I'm going to do a couple hours this morning. What I'm going to end up doing is on this door, and I'll probably do a couple shots on this. So, well, I don't know that I need to, but anyway, let me open this back up. So I need to put the door handle release in here. So I don't do the same thing I did on my first car. I'll set we're going to put side windows on this car because Logan's going to drive it on the street and potentially in the rain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the side window frame in there, mark where the brackets get attached, so that I can put the door release mechanism just on the inside of it. And then I still got to put the rest of the hardware in. I did work really hard to get a good 2-foot opening on the door. That necessitated me grinding just a little bit on this, the upper part of the hinge to get the door all the way open. And then I went a little bit more than what Factory 5 calls for on how much extra we have on the outside of this, just to get the door the rest of the way open. But looks good. Pretty happy with it all the way around. So I'm gonna go get a cup of coffee and then put the side window hardware all together and the door frame or side window frame, and make some marks. Let's see, I might reposition the door. I don't know how much dust I want to do before I leave, but we'll see what happens. I might want to reposition the door. Maybe I'll wait till get back, or just start on the other door and worry about repositioning, gapping everything before I take everything apart. But anyway, stand by, and I'll get the next section uploaded here in a second. We'll see you. All right, well, got up early. Took yesterday basically all day off except for a couple hours. But yeah, hit it hard so far this morning. I think it's like 8 o'clock or something like that. Got up, cup of coffee, and we're back at it. So check this out. So we got the door frame cut on the driver's side. So that's going well. Looks like basically the other side. I'm gonna have to do some cleanup right in here, and I'll get that taken care of. Either if we put some plates around that to clean that hole up. You can see how far back we have the chassis or the body, but the wheel wells all look even and everything. So that's where it's gonna go. So consequently, when we did that, and since I had the frame already cut for the door, I added basically this inch right here so that I could get this distance correct, so then the door striker would work. So pre-planning all this stuff based on how much we move this hole definitely pays off in the end, so I don't have to go back and retouch everything, which is fine. I mean, it's going to be a race car, but it'll be on street too, so we got to make it look and function correctly as well, and then safe. So and then some of you may realize that the integrity of the frame is probably not as good as it once was, but just remember that you've got this crash bar right here that is the main protection. This is really just to hold the door skin up at this point. Anyway, I've got the door frame done, and then I've just started on cutting the holes for the door itself. So normally I start with the outside edge where the pass-throughs go through for the frame, door frame, but for whatever reason, maybe it's just early, I just decided to work the hole for the cubby. So I'm going to work that, and we'll get right back to it, and I'll get it hung, and hopefully this one is half as long as the passenger side. I don't know how many times I've done this, but I always start on the passenger side. That usually takes twice as long as the driver's side. So still haven't quite got the rhythm on it, but it's close, so stand by. Well, covered in dust, so I think I have the driver's side done now. I went ahead and did all the body work to the seams, and where I basically got greedy on the forward edge, so I had to put some material back on. But let me show you what I did. So I back up. So I got some red U-pole, which is, you know, that gloss stuff, red, just to see how I'm doing. You know, of course I'll sand it back off, but that's looking pretty good. Gap all the way around, and there's the body work where I got a little bit greedy, but nice even gap now with the other side. Might have to suck the door in just a little bit more, but it's pretty close. And I went ahead and flat sanded the rest of the door. Found a couple pinholes, and this, I actually have the door latch now on this one, and it comes right open. No problems. Nice wide opening, or approach, if you will. So that looks really, really good. And it closes nice as easy. So, yep, 2 days, 2 doors. So I still need to go finish the other one to match the finish work on this, but I'm basically tired of doing doors. So I'm gonna do something else, and probably next weekend finish up the doors, maybe a little bit during this week. But got hockey tonight, and well, we're off tomorrow, so maybe I'll do some more. But yep, that's enough for the doors. Think I'm gonna work on the side vents next. So stay tuned for that, and we'll be diving right into that. Just gonna reset the garage and move on from there, so stand by. All right, folks, well, just like that, through the magic of time-lapse video, we're just about done, ready for paint. So let me roll this around real quick. And there you go. And back that up. Oops, wrong way. Sorry. So there you go. I only have, like, you know, one screw in each of the 3 panels now that I know how they go in after the first one, but there you go. And Logan wanted both wings on there, so he'll be able to take this one off and then do the other one. So we still got a few more things to worry about. I did put the surround in for the side window. Got the canards on. Those actually went. That wasn't actually too bad. I thought that was going to be a little bit more difficult, but it's on there. It really does make the car look mean. I am going to do something different. I've been meaning to do this on the last car. Let me go inside here real quick. Sorry. So instead of, if you want to take these side windows out, you gotta normally take these 4 bolts, which changes the angle and everything of the window, and then getting them back in and lined up is kind of a pain. And then on the kit, you actually have to drill through the bar that's right here, through this, and then you just basically drill through this and put a bolt in a nut. So in this case, what I think I'm going to do, just to keep the adjustment much easier, you're only really moving the window this, left, forward, and aft, versus up, down, in, out, and all that other stuff. I just went ahead and put riv nuts on the back of this. I'm going to put a riv nut back here, and you just take a 3/8, ratchet or impact and just zip these 4 bolts out, and then the whole window comes out. And that way the angle of this doesn't change. You have to go back and figure it back out. So I think that's going to make it easier for track days when you want to take it off and back on. And that thing closes just fine. And we'll get some bulb seal on that. The only gap I've got left to do is this one. But the rest of them are done. This one is done, and then let's see, I finished. I think I showed this one the other day, but this one's also done. So I did have to mess around a little bit with this gap right here, because the wheel well didn't actually the door actually stopped short, so I kind of massage that a little bit. The only other thing I got left to do, Logan's got to bring by his side windows, so I'll drill those out, tap those so they go in, and then keep knocking down seams. And the back looks good. I've got the spoiler all secured, back's all cut, rear windows in. I still have to put the hinge pieces on the chassis. I've got them on the window already, so that's this weekend, or this week's homework. But other than that, we are done. So maybe next weekend we'll debody it, and this one we're going to do off the car. So just the way things are working out. Anyway, so that's it. Stay tuned. We'll get another video next weekend as the body's coming off, so you can see all the detail work that Logan put through into the car to put the air jacks and the new sway bar and stuff in there. It's pretty trick setup. Anyway, stay tuned, and we'll be back in about a week. Talk to you soon.